Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for the second lesson of this Unit 2, which is the pair work. But before we begin, let's revise what we've taken in our previous lesson using this exercise. This is a crossword puzzle. This is a crossword puzzle where you have to match the meanings here with the correct words here. We have across and down. Across is like this from left to right, and down from up to down. So the across words complete the crosswords puzzle across. Number 1, a thief. Number 4, take control of a moving vehicle by force. Number 5, leave someone or something. Number 7, refuse or say no. Number 9, a small crime. Number 10, ran away or escaped. So these are the words or the terms, and we have to give some words that are related or give the exact meaning of this word. So these are helping words, a word that indicates the answers here. Let's take the first one. 1, across, a thief. 1, across, this is number 1. You can see here number 1. And you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters. So a 7-letter word, which means a thief. Yes, a burglar. This is a 7-letter word which gives the meaning of a thief. I think now you understand how the puzzle works. You have to count how many letters across or down and figure out the word. Number 4. Number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6-letter word. Number 4, take control of a moving vehicle by force. To take control of a moving vehicle by force. What's the meaning of this? Very good. It's to hijack. It's to hijack. Number 5, leave someone or something. This is a 7-letter word. Leave someone or something. Very good. It's the word abandon. Moving to number 7, to refuse or to say no. To refuse or to say no. This is here. You can see here number 7. Let's count how many letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it's a 7-letter word. Again, to refuse or to say no. Yes, to decline. Decline. If you remember the previous lesson, the credit card was declined. So this is to refuse or to say no. And number 9 here, a small crime. A small crime. We took it in the previous lesson. A small crime. Very good. It's the word misdemeanor. Misdemeanor. Number 10, ran away or escaped. Number 10, it's a 4-letter word. Ran away or escaped. Very good. It's the word fled. And now down. Down we have 2, and we have here 3, and we have 6 and 8. So we have 4 words. Number 1 or number 2, let's say, without permission. Without permission. Here from 2 and going down here without permission. What's the word that begins with the letter U? Without permission. Very good. Let's see. It's U, and then we put the letter N, and then the whole word is unauthorized. Very good. Unauthorized, it means without permission. Number 3, blame someone. Number 3, here, 3 going down. Blame someone. It's a 6-letter word that begins with, you see here, the letter A. To blame someone. Yes, that's correct. It's the word accuse. It's the word accuse. When you accuse someone of doing something, it means that you blame him. So moving on to the number 6, take something away. to take something away. Here's number 6. You can see the second letter is E, and the last letter is also E, to take something away from someone. You can see here it's a 5-letter word. I'll give you a hint. It starts with the S. Okay, that's correct. It's the word seize. Seize. Seizing something is to take something from someone. The last one, a prisoner, number 8. It begins with the letter I. You can see here, a prisoner. Yes, that's correct. It's the word inmate. It's the word inmate. Now we completed this game, this crossword puzzle. If you remember this article from our previous lesson also, the inmate who escaped, who was just facing a 5-day sentence, and he escaped on the last day, giving him a punishment for maybe a year, which was foolish of him. And the second one, of course, it's titled The Impatient Inmate. The Impatient Inmate. The second article about the people who hijacked the security van, having lots of money, but they didn't think it through, so they brought a getaway car, a small car, and they had to throw the half of the amount away, which was titled Criminals with Big Plans but a Small Car. So also this one is foolish. The third one, Rosario, Argentina, the boy, Alfredo Ramirez, who stole the credit card and used his own name in the receipts. He signed his own name, which was foolish of him. Of course, they caught him. Of course, the title was Credit Card Thief Signs Own Name. And he, if you remember, he didn't buy expensive things. He bought cappuccino, milk, and cereals. So today's objectives, let's jump to today's lesson. Today's objectives to read crime stories. So we'll be reading more crime stories. Find the most foolish criminal, just like the previous lesson. Relate crime with its words. So we'll be learning more word crimes. So today we'll be learning crimes, words related to crime, and we'll try to find the foolish criminal, and we'll be reading crime stories. As I told you before, the whole theme for this unit is crime. So think of a crime story that you heard or read about in the news. Tell your partner about it, explaining the details. Now, you can read the news all over the world using social media. So maybe you have read recently about a crime that happened here, on there, or there, inside the country, outside the country. So again, think of a crime story that you read, that you heard about or read in the news. Tell your partner about it, tell your friend about it, explain the details. So this is a task for you to discuss a crime with that you have read about and with your friend. So this is the first crime we have here. This is the first story we have here. Let's listen to it, then we will be answering the questions. Then at the end we'll be choosing who's the most foolish criminal. Let's listen.
Two men from Michigan, USA, were in desperate need of money and decided to turn to crime to solve their financial difficulties. After thinking about it for a while, they concluded that their best bet would be to hold up an electronics store, as the security there would not be too tight. If everything went well, they would move on to bigger businesses like supermarkets and why not even banks. On the day of the robbery, the two men felt extremely nervous, as this was going to be their first attempt at armed robbery. Nonetheless, they decided to go through with their plan. The robbers rushed into the store, and as they were waving their revolvers around, the first one shouted to the terrified assistant and customers, "Nobody move or we shoot." Unfortunately, when his nervous partner moved, the first robber immediately shot him.
So this is a story about two people who wanted to go big and steal from big stores. Of course, they were nervous because this is their first armed robbery. What's the meaning of armed robbery? When you say someone is armed, what's the meaning of this? Yes, it means that he has a gun. It means that he has a gun. This is their first armed robbery. Of course, they were very, or you can say extremely nervous because they asked everyone to be quiet. What happened next? Once the first criminal made a sound, his friend or his partner shot him. So this is, of course, foolish, as it says at the end. Unfortunately, when his nervous partner moved, the first robber immediately shot him. Why? Because they were extremely nervous. So how many men went to the city of Michigan who wanted to steal from there? Yes, 2. Why did the 2 robbers decide to rob an electronic store? Why did they decide to rob an electronic store? What made them decide this? Yes, because the security there would not be too tight. This was their plan. They planned that an electronic store, the security won't be as tight as a bank, for example, which they thought that would be easy. But on the contrary, or on the other hand, they were nervous so they shot themselves. They were so nervous that one of them shot the other one. Jumping to the next article, a young man in Seattle. Let's listen to it.
A young man in Seattle wanted to go for a nice long drive with his best friend. Unfortunately, he had no money for petrol, so he decided to steal petrol from a motorhome by putting a hose into the tank. The police later found a very ill man curled up next to the motorhome near spilt sewage. Later, the man explained to the police that instead of putting the hose into the petrol tank, he put it into the motorhome's sewage tank by mistake. The owner of the motorhome didn't press charges, because, as he said, he hadn't laughed so hard before in his life.
So this is actually a very funny crime about 2 friends. They had who had no money for gas, for petrol. So they decided what? They decided to steal the petrol or the gas, and they found a big car, a huge car, an RV, let's say, and instead of stealing the hose from the gas tank, they accidentally, by mistake, they took the sewage hose. So they drank sewage water, which was funny. So until the owner of the home van here, he didn't press any charges. Actually, he laughed. He told the police that he hadn't laughed so hard before in his life. And the one who drank the water was curled up. Curled up. It means that he was holding his stomach. He was curled up. So why was the man sick after trying to steal petrol for his car? Why was he sick and curled up, as I said? Very good. Because he mistook the petrol tank for the motorhome sewage. Because he mistook the petrol tank, he was aiming for the petrol tank. He wanted to steal petrol or gas. Instead, he took it from the motorhome sewage. The second question, did the owner of the motorhome press any charges? Did he press any charges? No, he did not. Why didn't he press any charges? Why? Yes, very good, because he thought it was too funny. He was laughing hard. The third article here, let's listen.
Daniel Woods from Plymouth, England, decided to buy a new car, so he placed an ad in the paper to sell his old car. Unfortunately, though, he had to call the police a few days later to report the theft of his old car. He didn't know if he would ever see it again. Luckily, he remembered to tell the police that he had left his mobile phone in the car. The detective who was investigating the case called the phone number. He told the man who answered it about the ad in the newspaper, and he pretended that he wanted to buy the car. They arranged to meet, and the thief was immediately arrested.
So this is smart from the police. This was smart from the policeman. Someone got his car stolen, and then he remembered here that he left his phone inside the car. And then he saw an ad selling his car in the newspaper. So what did the police do? They called the criminal and they told him that they wanted to buy the car. Once they met, they immediately arrest him. They arranged to meet, as you can read here, and the thief was immediately arrested. So this was extremely smart from them. That was extremely smart from them. So where is Daniel Woods from? Where is Daniel Woods from? Yes, Plymouth, England. He was from Plymouth, England. How did the police track the stolen car? How did the police track the stolen car? What did they do so that they can find the car? How did they track the car? Yes, Daniel left his phone in the car. Daniel left his phone in the car, so they called the phone, and the man who answered, they told him that they want to buy the car, and this is how they met, and they arrest him. The third or the fourth article here.
A woman in New York was just leaving a convenience store when a man seized her handbag and ran. The incident was witnessed by an employee who quickly called the police and gave them a description. Soon, the police arrested the suspect and drove him back to the store. They took him out of the car and told him to stand there for identification. The thief pointed to the woman and told a policeman, "Yes, officer, that's her. That's the lady I stole the handbag from."
So this was also a funny story, a foolish from the criminal who stole a handbag from a woman and he ran away, and there was a witness who described how the criminal looked. So the police caught him and they brought him to the woman for identification. As you can see here, the police told him to stand there for identification, and he misunderstood what their meaning. He thought that they told him to identify the woman, which was exactly the opposite. They wanted to ask the woman if she can identify him as the burglar. What did he say? He said, "Yes, officer, that's her. That's the lady that I stole the handbag from." So this misunderstanding was very helpful for the police because he admitted his crime. He admitted his crime, so this was extremely foolish from him. How did the police arrest the suspect? How did the police arrest the suspect? How did they catch him and arrest him? An employee witnessed the incident. An employee witnessed the incident and he helped the police to describe the criminal. Jumping on to the last article here, in Indiana, USA, a man left his house early one morning to go grocery shopping. After picking out the items he wanted to buy, he made his way to the till. He took out his wallet to pay, and while he was waiting for his change, he noticed he was the only customer in the shop. Suddenly, he was overcome by a strange desire to rob the place. Without thinking about it, he demanded all the cash from the grocery till. The cashier handed it to him and he made his getaway, leaving his wallet on the counter with all his identification. So he saw himself alone in the store and he saw that this is a chance for me to rob the place. I don't know how he thought that. So he told the cashier at the till to give all the money. And of course he was nervous. Why? Because once he took the money and ran out of the store, he forgot his wallet with his ID, maybe his driver's license. All the information about him is in his wallet. So once because the wallet gives all the information about you and the police can find you extremely easy. So in which country Indiana is located in the beginning? Yes, in USA. Why did the man decide to rob the store? Why did the man decide to rob the store? What made him think that I can rob the store. How did he decide, or why did he decide to rob the store? Yes, the store was empty. He saw the store was empty, there's no one, he's alone with the cashier. That's why he thought, why don't I rob the place? Of course, this was a mistake from him. Of course, he was nervous. Maybe this is the first time or the second time for him because he forgot his wallet. The third question, what did the robber forget to take with him once he fled the scene and took the money? What did he forget to take with him? Of course, he forgot to take his wallet, which was also foolish of him. So, what do you think about the stories? What do you think about the stories? For me, I think they're all funny. They're all funny. They're all foolish criminals who made stupid mistakes. Who do you think is the most foolish? Of course, this is a different opinion. You have the most foolish one, or I have the most foolish one. Who do you choose is the most foolish? For me, I choose the one who admitted his crime in front of the policeman and said, yes, sir, this is the woman whom I stole the purse from, because he mistook that the policeman was wanting him to identify the woman, which was the other way around. He asked the woman if she can identify the robber. So this was, for me, is the most foolish criminal. Who do you think is the most foolish? To you, give me your answer, if it's same as me or else. And with that, we reach the end of the lesson. Thank you for listening. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.